What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be taking a look at Loopcloud. Loopcloud is a feature-rich sample and loop manager that can be used for a variety of different purposes. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the features of Loopcloud, and I'm going to use Loopcloud to make a short song. If you like what you see and you're interested in giving Loopcloud a try, you can follow the link in my description for a 30-day free trial. Let's head over to the computer and check out Loopcloud. So what I'm going to do in Loopcloud today is use the samples to kind of put together a track in the indie and shoegaze genre. Once we have assembled the track in the 8-track editor, we're going to bounce everything out, put it into ProTools, and mix it to make a quick song. Alright, let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the pack that I'm going to use. In this case, I'm going to use the Shoegaze Dreams pack. I really like a lot of the sounds in this pack. There's a lot of good drum sounds, bass sounds, little guitar riffs. Overall, it seems very solid. So let's start setting this up. So the first thing I'm going to do is find a drum beat I like. And you know what? I think I like the sound of that kit a lot. Also, just going to quickly mention, if you hear the sound of birds chirping in the background of these tracks, that's just a watermark. When you go ahead and download these tracks, that's going to go away. You're just going to have the raw audio file. Alright, now that we have a base for our track, let's run through some of the edit options you have in Loopcloud. First, you have BPM and pitch editing, and these time stretch and pitch manipulation algorithms are pretty good. You can push these algorithms quite a bit, and the sound won't lose quality or have a ton of nasty artifacts in it. But for the purpose of the track we're doing, I think I'm just going to leave the drums at 130 and not pitch them around. These tools, however, do come in very handy when you start adding other samples into your track, as you need them to match the BPM and the key. Alright, now let's check out the FX section of Loopcloud. Loopcloud has a ton of useful DAW style effects that all sound pretty good. So for this example, let's use the Bright Hall. Alright, now that we've picked a drum track that we like, we're going to make use of Loopcloud's 8-track editor to start building our track and seeing how different samples sound when put together. So for track 2, let's find a bass that we like. And you know what? I think that's a solid bass line. We'll use that for our loop. As far as effects go on our bass, let's put a little bit of a filter on it. Just take off some of the high end. Alright. That sounds pretty solid. A couple other things to note, when using the multi-track editor, placing the cursor near the right-hand side of the track will allow you to mute tracks, and volume adjustment can be done by clicking on the box on the left-hand side of the track. Alright, that sounds pretty solid. Let's go and find some synth. I think I'm going to stick with this pad. As you can see, this pad is originally in the key of E. However, by selecting D, the key of our bass line, and hitting auto, we can transpose the synthesizer and make it fit with our song. Now, quickly, we're just going to add some reverb and maybe a sweeping filter to it. Alright, that's sounding pretty solid. let's head over to track 4 and audition some guitar sounds. That could work. Let's hear it in context. Oh, it does not work. All right, let's try a different one. I like the last half of this loop, but I don't like the first half. So what I'm going to do is just simply delete the first half and only use the second chunk of the loop. Cool. Let's see if we can find another guitar track that fits our song. Alright, and I think there's a similar case with this one. I'm going to split it in half, and I am just going to use the first part of it. Now that we have some tracks lined up, let's go through and add some effects. Alright, now we have a short loop. We found tracks we liked, added some effects to them, put them into the multi-track editor, and roughly balanced the levels. So now what we can do is use the Loopcloud credits to purchase the individual tracks and use them in our DAW. So now you have the option to either drag out the original files or your processed files, which is what you hear. And the way we're going to do this is by first muting the tracks we don't want to export and exporting the track we're looking for, basically creating stems. And you're just going to click processed and drag. Alright, now we have our processed tracks on the desktop. Next, we're going to load them into ProTools, mix them, and hopefully use them as the basis for creating a full song. Let's check that out. Alright, so I've taken the tracks we selected and edited in Loopcloud and loaded them into ProTools. I'm going to quickly take you through the processing I did on each track, and then we're going to listen to the final loop. So, with the drums, I just did a little bit of saturation and added a little bit of sparkle and compression from the SSL channel strip. Next, on these guitars, I went ahead and did a little modulation on the more ambient piece, sounding like this. And then went ahead and added H delay to give it even more space. For things like the synth and the guitars, I also have them running into a modulated reverb, in this case Tau Reverb 4, to give them even more space. Next, on the synth pad, I went ahead and did some equalization, removing some high end, and also adding a little bit of modulation and stereo reverb, creating this. Next, I compressed and EQ'd the bass so it would sound present and thumpy. Alright, let's take a listen to the final loop. And there you go. We were able to use Loopcloud to find various samples and put together a solid sounding track. Whether you're looking for sound effects, inspiration, stuff to augment your track, or looking to put together an entire song quickly, Loopcloud is going to get it done. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in trying out Loopcloud for yourself, the link will be in the description. And as always, stay tuned for more audio-related content. Peace.